alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Saru?
I'm good. How are you, Dr. Ali?
Alhamdulillah, fine, thank you.
Today I'm going to be asking you questions for back to school.
That would be nice.
Yeah, I'm really excited for school.
It's been a long time at home, so I think going back to school, seeing your old friends, seeing the teachers, doing some schoolwork will be fun, inshallah.
Yeah, that'll be really exciting. I'm really bored of staying at home. So the first question today is, when I go to school, I'm like really confused of which one's better, because should I like wear a shield, or should I like wear a mask more often, or should I wear both together at the same time?
I think you are being very wise person, thinking ahead of going to school and what precautions you need to take. And I think all this really depends on individual countries, because different countries have high risk of coronavirus and they are taking more precaution than the others. And I think, as I understand, in Saudi Arabia, everybody going to school will have to wear a mask. So I think that is an excellent idea. The other thing is, of course, hand washing and making sure that if you are at school, then the school will have some rules where they keep children at a certain distance, the social distancing, so they're not up together. And if you wanted to wear the visor, it's called, over your face to give you extra protection, especially to the eyes, because your mask will cover your nose and the mouth. But the virus can enter through the eyes as well. So if you wanted to wear the visor, then that would give you extra protection, definitely. But the important thing for you and also for other children and the parents is that if obviously somebody is unwell with symptoms of coronavirus, they should not be going to school or mixing with the public anyway. They should stay at home.
Okay, thank you so much for that wonderful answer. And yeah, this one's very close related to that one. Okay, so this one is the same question, but what should I do while eating? Because, the mask is gonna be kind of dangerous because I'll have to touching the front like that. Should I do that like that? Or should I wear the shield and do like this? Or should I take everything off and just eat peacefully?
I think that is a very practical question you have, and difficulty children may have at school. Obviously, you can't eat when you got the mask on. So mask has to come off for you to put the food in, but you can't be doing it every minute with every little thing. So it depends again, your seating at cafeteria, how people are going to be placed in there, how far they're going to be sitting. If obviously there are people not going to be around on your left and the right and also in the front, then it's pretty safe to take your mask off and to eat, because there will be nobody who's going to cough and going to spread the bugs to you. And in that case, you could take the visor off as well. Of course, if there's somebody sitting, you think, at the front of you who may cough, then it'll be useful to keep the visor on, but obviously take the mask off during the eating time. And of course, wash your hands before and after as thoroughly as you possibly can.
Yeah, that's really, that I'm really happy about the answer. It's very wise, actually. I wasn't thinking that. That is beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, so this one is related to the cafeteria. Okay? Is it safe to buy from the canteen? Because I love the pizza.
I think it will be safe because people are now going out to the restaurants and the eating places. And if they can eat there with people who are serving, if they are taking the correct precautions, they're washing their hands, they're wearing the gloves, and then that would be safe. So if everybody adheres to and sticks to the strict rules that the government has in place, then people who are serving you, they should be doing that as well. And therefore handling the food should be reasonably safe. And then of course you can eat that as well.
Okay, thank you so much. So this one, most of these questions are related to food. Okay, so is it better, like, is it safer or better to like eat in disposable dishes in school? Because I don't necessarily like them. My own opinion, I do not like eating from disposables. They're very, first of all, because they're very easy to tip over, and second of all, it just isn't fun.
I think some people's personal preferences, we need to think about it. Is it really essential or not? Schools probably will be using the disposable dishes or plates, etc., and cutlery just to make sure that they don't have to wash, they don't have to be put at risk because people would have touched all the spoons and forks and knives and the plates. So it's easy for them to dispose of them, the disposables. And although you may want the china plate and the dinner set, it may be difficult in school. And I think one has to make sure that it is safe. So safety is the most important bit. And just because you're only going to be eating once at school, one should have to compromise on that safety rather than demanding you want the china plate and the school obviously can't provide it and you can't take it from home, can you? So that'll be difficult. So I think one,
Yeah.
for the safety point of view, will have to compromise, and I think it's okay to use those disposable plates, and it's for a good reason.
Okay. So the next question is related to my cough. So like I usually cough most of the time. So when I go to school, I know of course my mom will tell like the teachers and like the main people who work there that it's not because I don't have corona, it's just because of my CF. But I'll feel really embarrassing because of my friends. They won't know. They'll think I have corona, and it's really embarrassing. They'll just stare at me like that.
So if it is going to be your friends in the same classroom that you have been going to before the coronavirus lockdown, then they will of course know you, and they will know that you do cough at times as well. So they will understand that as well. In coronavirus, it is the new cough and persistent cough, that or worsening cough, that is the important thing. So if your parents can tell the school and they would know about it, that you have a background cough which you have had for some time and your friends will know it, then they don't need to be scared. But of course, if your cough gets worse with fever or worsening symptoms, then you shouldn't be going to school yourself. And similarly, other people should not come to school if they got new symptoms, new cough, or other symptoms of coronavirus. But your friends there will know you, that you previously cough as well. So it is something which you always have had, and it's not new, and it's therefore unlikely to be coronavirus.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is related to the cubbies. Like they're lockers but without doors. So this one is because I've been doing it commonly, because it's really fun to do. Whenever I was like, since I'm going to grade 4, in grade 3, 2, and 1, I've been like switching my cubbies, and like so we can like tell, like we can like get confused, and it's really fun. So we don't know who's. So is it safe for me to keep switching my cubbies and tricking each other?
I think the risk of getting infection from cubbies or the lockers is extremely low, especially if the school have cleaning policies in place where they clean all the surfaces, etc. Then that should be fine. Because really just putting your bag in there is not going to infect the cubby or the locker, that then you picking up the bag are going to catch the infection. So I think it'll be pretty safe. And schools, they should have their cleaning policies in place as well to make sure they're cleaning all the surfaces in between the classes.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is, so like when I'm playing, of course, because Come on, every kid likes to play, right? Hands up, I love to play. Like, whenever I'm like gonna keep like, so should I like wear a mask while I'm playing or like face shield? Because since I'm gonna be playing and everything, it's gonna be really hard for me to wear a mask because like I'm gonna be running really fast and like breathing fast. So will that like, because it'll feel really hot here, and since you like usually the main game you play is tag, and you have to touch it like tag, you're it. So we have to touch each other. How can like I maintain the distance? Do I have to do something different or special? Like what?
I think although exercise is good and everybody should be doing it, running around will make some people cough more and they breathe fast. And if they're obviously not wearing the mask, then if they are infected, that they are likely to breathe out the bugs as well. And when you actually tugging people, touching people, then you can't keep the social distancing. So if there is a game that one can avoid touching each other, that'll be better. Or I don't know whether you can make some rules that when you are near somebody, keep sort of 1 to 2 meters away, minimum 1 meter, 1.5 minimum it will be better, and 2 meters will be the best. Then that distance will be okay. But if it involves tugging and contact games, then if you can avoid it, that will be better, because that means that people will be very close together when they're touching each other and they are breathing fast and they haven't got the masks on. If they appear to be having infection, then they are likely to pass. So any contact game, any game which is going to involve opening the mouth, breathing fast, that is likely to spread infection. And the trouble with that is that some children, people may not have symptoms of the infection, and therefore parents may feel that they are safe to go to school. So I think it is better to avoid it if it's possible and play activities, individual space, and yet have your exercise done as well. And you don't need to even touch each other.
Okay. Thank you so much. That makes me feel a lot better. I was really confused with that question. So this question is very tricky. So this question is, Alhamdulillah, in my school, I do library. So when I'm like doing my library, I usually have to like touch the books. So I'm really like scared for that part. I've been always like wondering, and I thought, okay, this is the time I asked Dr. Ali, because you're very wise and wonderful. So I wanted to know if like, because I'm really scared that if I touch a book and someone was like really ill with that book and she or he touched it, so what I do?
I think a very sensible question, especially if you're into the books and you like going to the library and using library books, which the other people may be touching as well. So I think it's a very, very sensible question indeed. I think the library staff should have a rule where they tell all the children using the library to make sure as they enter the library, they sanitize their hands, or there's a facility to wash their hands, and they do the same when they come out. And when you go in there, you make sure that you actually wash your hands beforehand, you sanitize your hands after touching the books as well. And sometimes people carry the sanitizers with them. So if you have to use it more than once, that's okay. So the important thing is hygiene, cleanliness, hand washing, and sanitizing as often as you possibly can. And that way you are going to reduce the risk of any infection being passed on. But you're quite right. If obviously somebody has been coughing and put their hand on the face when they sneezed or coughed and then they touched the book, and if they were infected or buggy, they may have passed on the bugs to the book which you may touch. So use the sanitizers, and obviously same advice if parents feel that the children have got the symptoms, or children themselves have it, or teachers realize that somebody's got coronavirus symptoms, then they should not be allowed into those public places where people are going to share the objects, books, or anything else.
Okay, thank you so much. So this is the last final question.
Okay.
So So, like, whenever I'm like changing classes, like not changing classes, like going from playing to back to my desk, you know, I know they'll clean my desk. You know, I still want to like clean it with like alcohol because my mom gifted me this alcohol spray. I'm going to clean my desk just to be like, for me to feel okay, I'm safe, I can sit here and then nothing will go wrong. So is it safe for me to like only use this alcohol, or should I like add something else, or like what?
So I think so far as the surfaces are concerned, your school may again have the policy for people to clean the surfaces, but if you wanted to do extra precautions, you can have the spray and you can wipe it as well. Or you can have alcohol wipes, which people can use to clean the surfaces. And on top of that, you can, of course, use the hand sanitizers to make sure that your hands are also nice and clean, and when they're touching the surface, they're okay. So I think those extra precautions by yourself would be very sensible, and that is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think that's very good that you're thinking about all those things when you're returning back to school.
Thank you.
But I hope you have a safe return to your school and everything remains fine, inshallah.
Yeah, thank you so much. You cannot believe how thankful I am for all your answers. They were so helpful, and I really hope they help other people. And yeah.
It's always a pleasure talking to you. And because you ask so sensible questions, as you said, they will inshallah be of some help to other children in the same situation as yourself. So thank you for helping everybody else as well as helping yourself. Jazakumullah khair.
Bye. Wa
Assalamu
alaikum
alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ma salama.
salam. Bye.